this beautiful spot where I've been blessed with just amazing weather. Bit of wind here and there, but apart from that, pretty blooming good. Really good, in fact. Well, not a hell of a lot of wind, but pretty good conditions for a nice calm anchorage. Where I'm going, it's just around this headland basically, so not too far. It's only probably a total of about 7 miles from where I was anchored back in the bay, but it's pretty exposed to easterlies. At the moment we've got it's probably a southeasterly wind coming across the channel, but it's only about 3 or 4 knots. So it's probably a good opportunity to anchor in a place that I otherwise probably wouldn't really be looking for a long-term anchorage. There's a river there, so I'm kind of interested to have a look at it, see if there's any fish in there. So it's on the way to the direction I'm moving in, so why not just pull in there for the night instead of a night back here where it was beautiful and the bears were amazing, but the fishing was pretty mediocre. Move on, see what's ahead. Bit of breeze and an extra 1.5 knots of boat speed. Can't complain. Get out a bit and hopefully get the engine off and sail into the next bay. Save a bit of fuel, as always. I don't know if you can see it with the wide angle, but look at this here. Another big crater. It's just amazing. These calderas where the volcanoes just exploded at some point. Well, here we go, we're coming into the bay, but it looks particularly oily in there. So unfortunately, I don't know if I'm going to be able to sail onto the anchor. We're probably going to run out of wind long before I reach the beach where I probably would hopefully like to drop anchor. Either way, we'll see how we go. Hopefully there's a little bit of breeze in there and I can get far enough into the bay. What a beautiful afternoon again. It's a wide open bay. We've got a bit of a steady breeze doing about 4 knots. No bombies to look out for. Things are good. Nice big wide open bays here, and there's a number of rivers in them. This is the one I'm going into now. Gonna hook around the corner here and hopefully get a bit of shelter from what's a pretty steady nor'easter once I've got around this point. Switch the motor off and yeah, things are good. Only gonna sail probably 3 miles, but 3 miles of fuel is 3 miles of fuel, you know. Might as well sail if you can. No noise, peace and quiet. Beautiful afternoon. It's about 7:30. Yeah, it's just magic. I love this, and I tell you what, if the weather stays like this for a little while, I'll explore some of these streams while, you know, you got to make hay while you can. When the weather's good, you got to explore what you can, and it'll be a perfect breeze to sail further southeast, or sorry, southwest, southwest down the peninsula. It stretches out as far as the eye can see until it hits the Aleutian Islands. right at that point, that's roughly where I'm going to turn around this year and make my way back to Homer. But take each day as it comes, I guess. You never know, it might be gale force winds in the middle of the night. You just don't know. But the forecast looked pretty good for a week a few days ago, so fingers crossed we can explore some of these rivers over the next few days. Fingers crossed even more, find a couple of trout, hopefully. Either way, it'll be nice exploring the coastline. Well, that's that. What a beautiful spot. Just incredible. Be good to get out and try and find a fish and get some bait into those pots, see if there's some prawns and crabs around. It's probably already 8 o'clock though. But the bears get up late, they stay up late. Actually, they probably don't stay up late. They seem to live a pretty lazy life. Low tide, they're out and about, but apart from that, I'm guessing they do a lot of snoozing. If they get up late, I can get up late. So the days are long, you might as well fish late. Tide is dropping. Not a good time to be coming ashore, but try and get up and have a quick squiz at this river. It will drop in a flash. So I won't have that long on the shore, but have a quick look at the river. It's rushing out. Sandy basin. But there's quite a watershed by the looks of it. Goes back a fair way over fairly flat ground into the mountains, so you never know. Always live in hope, I say. There could be fish up there. Ooh, here we go. This is interesting, yeah. The river's actually just over here. Here's some bear tracks. They're usually not too far away. My friends the bears. Kind of keep you company. Okay, this here is interesting. I haven't seen this anywhere yet, but these here are bear cubs. Prints here, and the mother is just next to it, I'm presuming. So that's pretty cool. As big as my hand, you know, so if you put your boot sideways into a big one, you can see how small they are. Tiny. There's his back print there. Still a pretty big animal. You wouldn't want to mess with, I'm guessing, but yeah. This here's the parent bear. So far bigger print. Much bigger. That's good to see. Yeah, I haven't seen any sign of any cub bears anywhere yet, which is interesting. Wow, here's the river. Beautiful. Beautiful river. The tide will push right up into here though. And it makes me wonder if there's two little streams in this bay. This could be the smaller one coming from that waterfall. bigger one could be a little bit back further, which I'm guessing comes from the main valley. Interesting. But like I said, the problem with these streams is the massive tidal range just floods them. Anyway, I'll go for a little stroll and see if I can see anything. These tracks here, wolves. Simple dog print, of course, but a wolf. Again, a bit flighty, but there's little fingerlings in here. Can't get close enough to them to see what they are. Just love hearing the birds. Yeah, there's a good number of, I'm presuming, salmon fingerlings in little schools along the shallows here. In theory, there should be trout hammering them, but haven't seen anything yet. Good sign. Good numbers of young fish. Good to see. Okay, that'll do for now. Back to the dinghy before it ends up high and dry. But I'll definitely be back here having a look at this creek, and hopefully the other one if it's even bigger, on high tide, and I don't know, have a look further upstream on low tide as well. Hit it on dead low and I can get the dinghy with the incoming tide easy enough. That could be a plan because it's low tide in the morning. Spring and summer is in the air. Beautiful. Just can't wait for the berries to come into season. Should be another month or so. And yeah, they'll be on the menu on the boat for sure. Woo-wee. That's a big wolf, that one. The size of the footprint. Jeez, that's a big dog. Another of my bear friends. Back foot, front foot. Pretty big bear. That's a big bear. Smaller than the one that I was looking at the other day, but it's still a big bear. Geez, they're all big in my book. You don't want to get too close to any of them, even if they're about 5 months old. And a smaller lone wolf, sorry. Yeah, there is foxes actually. There is foxes around here as well, so I could be wrong. The really big ones are definitely not a fox. That really big footprint I showed earlier, that's a wolf for sure. But the smaller ones could be foxes. Now, see if I can jig up a halibut on these sand flats. It's a big wide sandy flat beach, which is just what halibut seem to like, so you never know. We'll give it a go. Much longer and I would have been in trouble. Tell you what, if the surf was any bigger, there'd be a couple of waves to be had here, left and a right, coming off these sandbars. Every dog has its day, I guess, but I wouldn't want to be anchored in here when there's some decent swell. Well, scraped out by the skin of my teeth. The otters around. They're camera shy though, like I said. Been out here jigging for, I don't know, 20 minutes now, 25 minutes. And not a touch, not a bump. But what a beautiful bay. It's just amazing. Just beautiful. Big long beach. No other boats. No cabins, thank goodness. Just wilderness. Bear tracks, wolf tracks, fox tracks. Goodness knows. Birds chirping. And my tracks, you know, it's just magic. Call me selfish, but yeah, we need more places like this in the world where you can just come ashore and there's just nothing there, nobody there, nothing's been built. It's just magic. Beautiful. Particularly when the weather's like this. If it's getting lashed by a big storm, it's probably not so beautiful, but right now, wow, doesn't get better than this. But this is about it for me, I'm afraid. No fish, I don't think. Good for the nervous system, I'm told. Oh, jeez. Good for a wash too. Just a little bit of swell in here. Pretty flat though, not too bad. So for dinner for me, looks like a can of beef and tortellini, some peas, canned peas, bit of carrot, and I've got some dried minced onion, and what else will I get in there? And I'll add a ramen noodle packet just to bulk it up a bit. But tomorrow we're on the hunt for some fish. Well, the weather doesn't get much better than this. A little bit of breeze coming in on a sou'easter, but super light. It's probably 1 knot, 2 knots maybe. Dead low tide. Gonna take the dinghy ashore, chuck the anchor out, go explore this river. I'll probably have to swim for it when I come back because the tide will come in, but it's such a beautiful day, I don't care. I'll happily go for a swim. Good to see, just on the inside of the mouth here, I have spooked. Geez, there must be close to 40 flounder have taken off. Out she goes. Actually, it's probably just turning. The tide's probably just about to start coming back in. So I don't have the longest rope on that anchor. So I've got, I don't know, at least 3 hours, I suspect. half the tide. Hit some pretty thick bush here. I don't even know if the animals go through it. We'll have a dig in, you never know, it sometimes opens up. Hey, look at that. Bloody hell. It keeps getting stuck on everything. It does open up. There goes my coffee again. Look at that. Wow. Swamp country. Back for my coffee. Well, if ever there was a time to go for a dip, this is it. Boots off. Let's have a look upstream. Where are the trout? There's a little fingerling. There's that quicksand I was talking about the other week. It is chilly. Look at this. Magic. Trees are like mangroves. Nice easy upstream walk. It's only shin deep. But remember where I left my boots and not get frostbite of the feet. This is all snow melt and it's pretty blooming cold. But let's try and spot a trout in these deeper pockets. Tell you what, if I come back down this way in early September, late August, I'll definitely be stopping here when the salmon are running, because there is a good number of fingerlings in this river, that's for sure. Deep pocket here. Any trout chasing them? Not that I can see. They're living a pretty happy life, that's for sure. Happier than my feet right now. That's for certain. I tell you, these shallower bits are a godsend, because those deep holes, they're pretty cold. Perfect little side pocket. Nothing in it. Nothing. Okay, this pool looks perfect. Deep. I'm going to walk up around to the head of it and I'll fish it. As suspected, nothing. Well, it might have been casting at shadows, I think. Well, I'm pretty long way down the beach now, just about at the end. This here's quite interesting. I've found a dead one of these halibut, sorry, not halibut, starry flounder. Now I'm going to check that. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're starry flounder. And this guy is dead. And that there is about as big as they get. That's a big one. Doesn't look like he's been attacked at all. He's probably died of old age, I reckon. Hey, third coat of paint done. Wind dropping. I actually picked up a little reasonable sized flounder. I could have kept it for dinner, but I ended up sacrificing it for a bit of bait. I'm gonna head out, drop the pots. I'll use the crab trap as a anchor, hold the float in the dinghy, and drop down some bait and hopefully connect with a halibut, or who knows. Yeah, when you're desperate, pull out the bait, I say. I very rarely do it, but for halibut, it's a pretty, it's the done thing, basically. Well, nothing in the prawn trap. It's only in 30 metres of water though out here in this area. There's not much deeper water than that, and there's a lot of otters around. Now I'm told that the otters are not able to dive more than 50-60 metres. So if you're fishing deeper than that, if I find 60-metre water, I'll often try to fish it, because they can't feed on all the prawns. I don't know how true that is, but it sounds feasible to me. But you know, I've caught prawns in 20 metres, so yeah, it's hard to say. But if there's a lot of otters around, it does make sense that the prawns would get targeted in shallow water. Anyway, we'll get out to the crab trap. There was quite a few small Dungeness crab carapaces washed up on the beach when I was walking earlier, so that was promising. Be interesting to see what's out there, but I'll just hang off the pot and fish some bait for halibut first before pulling it. All these otters making it a little bit difficult to spot my float, but I've got this one no problem. Tell you, the old gold pan is handy. There she goes. One thing's for certain, the skin on that flounder, yeah, it's not going to come off the hook too easily, that's for sure. Like cooking sandpaper, one side nice and flashy, but the other side as rough as it gets. Wait begins. Yeah, we've got a fish here. I'll let him take it though. More. More. Keep going, buddy. Dropped it, I think. Put another bait down. I guess it might only be me that's interested in eating this starry flounder. Well, yeah. Halibut don't want to play ball, just that one little inquiry, which was probably a flounder checking out his brother or whoever it was that I cut up to use for bait. Unfortunately, hasn't done the trick. Pull the crab pot though, you never know, maybe we got some crabs in there and it'll be crab for dinner, but hate to say it, but I'm skeptical. Well, there we go, unfortunately. Lots of effort. Well, actually not that much effort. That's bait fishing for you. Nearly went over. Kick back and wait. If they take the bait, they take the bait. In this case, nothing. So tomorrow morning I'm going to head ashore and then head off with a bit of an afternoon breeze like this, hopefully.